Hello everyone, and today we're going to be having a look at this old generation iPod. Now I think this is either second or third generation, and it's quite interesting really. This was originally my mother's, but obviously as it's so obsolete now, nobody really wants it anymore. So it's been handed to me. As you can see on the bottom here, it's got the old, I think it's the old 10-pin connection. And obviously the headphone jack. On the top we have obviously this like fake camera and this like obviously standby / wake up thing, and this is basically, I did a factory reset on this a little while ago, and I did put a few apps on here just to demonstrate like the App Store still works on this. So once obviously I don't need to pass lock on this because it's not like anyone's going to want to obviously use it for anything anyway, and it isn't worth about £5. iMessage, it still surprisingly works. I've tested that. Mail obviously works, you can see that here, and I did sign in with that, but I signed back out again. Safari works, and it loads my website pretty well. Just takes a little while to load. Here we go. Yeah, and that's pretty awesome. And it, like you can see, it works pretty well. So let's go and have a look at some of the other apps. Now, we do have contacts, which is a bit weird on this, because it can't make calls, it hasn't got any SIM slots or anything. And it isn't an iPhone, it's just an iPod, so I don't know why you'd want that. I suppose it's a bit like an address book, really. Next to that we've got calendar, which obviously still works. Then we've got photos, which, yeah, again is something which isn't really useful in any meaningful way because you can't take photos on this. This doesn't have a camera. And we've got videos. That is quite useful really if you're on a long trip and you can actually transfer some data onto this via iTunes and obviously watch a movie or whatever. And YouTube, let me just show you what happens when it tries to load like featured, for example. We come up with this thing here, and it's from YouTube Help. Obviously this is what it would look like if it was still working, but basically what it says is the version of YouTube you're using isn't supported anymore. To watch a video you're looking for, head over to youtube.com, and then obviously it goes through all the different languages from this point on, as you can see. So let's just... And there's no, like, you can't load any other videos, there's literally nothing, even if you go into your history or whatever, there's just nothing there. Which is a shame really if you're feeling nostalgic, but yeah, I suppose it's just another drive to make you upgrade to a modern thing. Stocks, I believe that still works, and if we scroll down you can see the stocks thing there, that obviously still works. Weather, you can see that up there as well, and that just goes to the weather app. If you obviously press on it, which is that one there, which actually still displays all the temperature, and that's still pretty functional. Under that we have notes, reminders, pretty much unchanged even in like iOS 9 or whatever. We have a clock app, Game Center, newsstand, which is basically like you would have magazines, newspapers, all sorts in there. And obviously iTunes App Store, which as I explained a bit earlier still works, and the latest version of iOS that can work on this phone. Why am I calling it a phone? That will work on this device rather, is iOS 5.1.1, which is quite interesting. And obviously, as you can see, it still connects to Wi-Fi networks. It still does everything you'd expect it to do, really, and it's still quite good. These are some of the apps that I installed. Utilities is just a built-in thing, which is quite pointless. Like voice memos, you need to connect an actual speaker to this to make it work. Because if I try to, no microphone available, pretty pointless. But it has VLC, which works, YouTube, Opera Mini, and Facebook. And I mean, this demonstrate Opera Mini first. This actually loads my website better than Safari does. Well, I say that now, and then it suddenly decides that it isn't going to work. Oh well. I suppose it is just an old version, isn't it? Come on. Trying to get to load that menu. That's a good thing about this WordPress theme that I'm using at the moment. It's very good. YouTube works pretty well, and if we're going to load something like, let's just wait for this to load, like the Windows, if I can spell, welcome music remix. Oh, no. This is the thing about this, it's got such a tiny little keyboard. It's bugger for people like me, especially the people who's got chubby fingers like me, to actually obviously press any keys on this bloody thing. Let's try to load the Windows XP Welcome Music Remix by Stray Objects. So as you can see, it still works, and we've also got suggested. We have the comments as well, which is pretty good. And yeah, I love that song. Did a good job on that, he did. Or she, or whoever. And it loads all the suggested ones. You still have your subscriptions. And, oh gosh, Major Sky 17's uploaded something. And Windows, obviously. And it still is fully functional. Unlike the built-in YouTube app, which doesn't work anymore. This one I got from the App Store, although that one no longer receives updates, so I'm not sure how much longer that will last before that also gets axed. And like maps, for example, I did test that and that works. I'm not going to demonstrate that because I don't particularly want people seeing where I live. And everything else works quite well, music and obviously the search and everything. Oh, I miss that though, where you could just scroll that way and obviously have this search option here. I mean, on the modern versions of iOS, you just press anywhere in the screen and push down, and then you get the obviously search thingy. But yeah, I mean, I do like this. We've got an all apps menu. If you double tap on the home button, well, not tap as such, but oh, come on. This was always what I had to do to stop it from crashing when I used to use this more regularly. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty solid hardware and it's lasted this long. The thing about this sort of technology is everyone says, oh, Apple stuff, you could drop it on a flipping pillow and it'd smash. But that isn't exactly true. If you treat any sort of product like this with respect, it will pay off and it will last for a lot longer than you'd expect. Like this, it's been through the wars and it's obviously come out unscathed now, but that's because I've taken good care of it when it's obviously been disused. But yeah, I mean, that just rounds it up for this video really. And if you want to have any demonstrations of anything on this iPod, then please let me know in the comments, as long as they're appropriate, obviously. And thank you all for watching. I'm not sure what I'm going to do in the next video, but yeah. So I'll see you all in a future video. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.